Look at this postcard-worthy view of downtown Greensboro. It's been a while since we've seen the roads completely covered like this. The storm allowing some folks to go out and have some fun and create memories, like our Nixon Norman doing a snow angel there. But even though there are some bright spots in the snow, like sledding, we need to remember the danger it brings too. Here's exactly what all of us want to see right now. The plows out there hitting the roads, doing their jobs. Despite their hard work, it is still an icy mess. We are far from done with this storm. I want you to take a live look now at Burlington, where you can see the clouds are still hanging on. There's still some sleet coming down too. This storm will keep getting worse. We're so glad you're joining us right here on WFMY Plus at 4. I'm Ben Briscoe. You know, we mostly got in sleet and freezing rain, not a lot of snow, but kids will get their snow day tomorrow. School closings keep coming into the newsroom. Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools will close tomorrow and Tuesday. Remember, for Guilford County Schools, it already had a previously scheduled teacher workday tomorrow, so they were already out. There's no word yet on if they'll go back on Tuesday, but if I'm a betting man, I'd say probably not. The Alamance-Burlington school system announced remote learning for Monday. We also heard plans from Randolph County Schools and Mount Airy Schools, which will close on Monday. We're still waiting on word from other districts. You can see all the closings as they come in on WFMYnews2.com. It's not just schools closing. Some city services are being cut back. In Greensboro, if your trash is picked up on Monday, that's not going to happen until Tuesday. Same thing in Burlington, too. And we are starting to see some power outages from this storm. Take a look at the Duke Energy map right now. Over in the Blues Creek area, there's 270 customers without power. I know it's a small outage, but it's really important to notice that this outage is not going to be fixed until all the stuff stops falling from the sky. That's because Duke Energy says it's too dangerous to put their bucket trucks up into the air when things are still coming down. Our area, not really seeing a ton of power outages right now. It kind of almost looks like a normal Sunday for us. But if you look out to the west of our state, almost 11,000 people without power in Asheville. Now remember, Duke Energy planned for big outages here. They actually have brought in 18,000 crews across the Carolinas ready to roll at a moment's notice. Now, if you do end up losing power for a long time, you want to be ready. Have a flashlight with a stash of extra batteries nearby. Also, make sure your phone is plugged in and charging right now. And here's a bonus tip for you. Go ahead and run the dishwasher. If the power goes out for days, trust me, you do not want those stinky dishes in your house. City crews here in Greensboro have been getting a start on plowing the roads earlier this morning. They'll be working around the clock 24/7, laying down salt and continuing to try and plow as much off the roads as possible. But remember, Greensboro's got 3,000 miles of roads, so it's going to take a while to get it all done. The city of Greensboro also has an interactive snow removal map. Check their website. Not only can you see the progress of what's been cleared so far, but it will tell you what order the roads are going to be plowed in, so you can see how long it's going to take before your road is clear. We have crews across the Triad checking on conditions and talking with first responders about what they're seeing. But first, look at this fiery scene in Blowing Rock. The snow and the ice creating big problems for firefighters. A historic restaurant, Bistro Roca, caught fire this morning. It's not clear if the weather somehow caused this fire, but we do know that no one was injured. We asked you on Facebook for your pictures of the snow and sleet in your neighborhood. Check this out. On Highway 421 in Liberty by exit 187, Sheila sent this to us. Boy, you can't even tell where the lanes of the road start and end there. It is a solid sheet of ice out that way. Like we said, snowplow trucks are out everywhere trying to get these roads clear, but the stuff is still coming out of the sky. And look at this from Brenda in Greensboro. She sent this pool to us. It looks, if you look closely, almost like it's covered in lily pads. Really, that's pockets of ice as it starts freezing over. And check out those steps there underneath that word condition. It really looks treacherous. In addition to the sleds, look at this. One person in Denton even broke out the skis. My favorite part of this is that they're on their phone there on the way down, being like, hey, I got this, no big deal, even though I'm on this steep giant hill. And who said people should get all the fun? Yeah, if you look closely there, a dog and their best friend hop on this sled. They go down this small slope in downtown Winston. We've got our crews tracking this winter storm. Christina Dillon is checking out weather conditions live in Winston-Salem. But let's start with meteorologist Alex Williams with an update on this winter storm.
Yeah, Ben, I'm so glad that people have been able to get out and have some fun in the snow. As remember, we thought it was over. We're seeing some sleet. There's no way it's going to snow again. Well, you know what? We eat a slice of humble pie. That keeps us humble as meteorologists. We're forecasting something that even if the slightest thing changes, it can completely ruin the forecast. So enjoy the snow. While we still have it, we still have some problems heading our way. One is the cold. It's still here. 20 degrees feels more like the teens out there. Thankfully not feeling so much as single digits as it was earlier, but nonetheless, more single digits into forecast as we go through the next couple of days. So that's kind of what we're dealing with right now, is just the cold and being out there having fun. Make sure we're doing so, staying nice and warm. This is the Winter Storm Severity Index, and again, it gives you an idea of general impact. So we're talking, yes, there's going to be disturbances to your daily run of things with all of that sleet snow mix on the roadways and maybe some ice to come. So this runs this morning into Monday morning. If we check out Monday morning into Tuesday morning, interestingly enough, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of impacts, but that's not necessarily true. You can see that one there, maybe some minor impacts. I think we might see this maybe go up to around a 2. At least seeing some impacts, because those roads, they're not going to be fun to drive on. Even if plowing gets done, you'll have melting and refreezing almost every single night through the entire week. So it's going to take a while for us to kind of recover from this type of system. Still looking at freezing rain risk, though. We're backing off on the totals just a bit. Now we're anywhere from 1/4 to about 3/10 of an inch of ice. That's much better than a 1/2 inch of ice. Still could cause some problems for us over the next couple of hours. We're going to watch this front push through. As it does so, it's going to bring in some very heavy precipitation, and that could very well be maybe a band of sleet, even some elevated instability, getting some thunder sleet in there. And I'll tell you what, if it's thunder sleet outside, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to be so excited. Or thunder freezing rain. Either way, I'll be out there super excited that we're getting some of that. This system just continues to bring us surprises. Don't buy the low 30s. A lot of times models overestimate how warm it's going to be with that wedge of cool air, and they warm us up too quickly. Don't think that we're going to see the low 30s that quick. Eventually we will. But you can see we're still dealing with some of those wintry impacts across the Triad, still dealing with those ice storm warnings, still dealing with some of this precipitation. Now maybe starting to see this batch of precipitation now moving towards the Charlotte area and towards the foothills. That's what we're watching very closely, because this is going to be the next show that rolls into town. Will it be sleet? Will it be freezing rain? That'll be something we'll have to look out for. Of course, your team, we're going to keep an eye on it, and we'll keep you updated.
If you dare to go out, make sure you dress warm for this storm. Wear several layers like a big coat, gloves, boots, hats. Make sure you have that long underwear on too. You're going to need it. It is really cold out there. One person who knows that firsthand is our Christina Dillon, who is over in Forsyth County right now. Christina, I'm glad to see you are all bundled up.
That's right, Ben. I've got a bunch of layers on. I'm actually wearing my ski outfit that I would normally wear skiing, so I'm staying pretty warm, but it is freezing. I want to tell you right now, we've got a few flurries falling out of the sky, nothing major, but it's been off and on like this all day long. We saw nothing falling from the sky, then pelting freezing rain, and now back to nothing. So we'll continue to watch. I want to show you these roads here in Winston-Salem, still unplowed. It was about 1 inch to 2 inches earlier when we measured it. We've got a private company over here salting the sidewalks. It's not with the city, not yet, but a private company is doing that for some of the businesses. And then take a look at the highway over here. Same thing. They haven't been plowed. Some people have been going down the highway, so that's why you see those marks right there. But we haven't seen a lot of people out here on the roads, which is a good thing. We did see some people downtown, though. We swung by just to see what was going on. Everybody I talked to said that they had walked down there. And they were enjoying themselves. They were sledding, some of them with their dogs, enjoying. I saw some people having snowball fights, just taking the time to, enjoy this snow as much as they can. A lot of people told me that it wasn't as icy as they thought it was gonna be. And one woman, the one that actually took her dog sledding, she said she was from Tampa, Florida, and she came up here and was actually surprised to see what this snowstorm brought.
It was a little daunting at first, hearing everyone talk about it as if it was a hurricane coming, but it's been really cool and interesting. Last night it was very slippery, but now it's very powdery, so it's pretty safe.
When we were downtown, we also talked to Winston-Salem police who were down there, and they said that there hasn't been any major accidents. They said a few minor here and there that has to do with the ice, slipping and sliding, tires on the roadway, but nothing major, nothing to worry about. But they continue to encourage people to stay inside. Even though you don't see ice on the road, you see mainly that packed snow. That ice is there, and it's definitely underneath, and it is dangerous.
So people are encouraged to stay inside, Christina. It looks almost like a ghost town behind you. There's no cars. Is there anything even open? Are businesses open?
Yeah, that's right, Ben. I said it looked a little dystopian when I came out here this morning. It does look like a ghost town. When we were downtown, like I said, we saw the people that had kind of walked into that town square, but no open businesses. I didn't see anybody going in and out. I know the football game's on, so I'd asked some people, oh, are you going to go downtown and grab a beer? And they said they didn't know of any bars open, so they were going to go home after they had their fun in the snow.
All that smooth white surface on the road behind you looks pretty, but underneath it, is it icy or is it just like a pack of snow? Can you show us?
Yeah, we can certainly show you what it looks like. It is pretty packed down in here. I mean, it's crunchy. I don't know how much you can hear as we walk, but it is crunchy. It feels powdery and packed down. But I did talk to a woman today who said she was walking and she did slip. So even if you can't see it to the naked eye, there's definitely ice up here, especially as that freezing rain came down on this snow earlier. So it looks pretty, but it could be dangerous.
You know, when it looks like this outside your window, and chances are this is what you're going to see this weekend, all you can do is focus on keeping the heat on. 2 Wants to Know is looking at what you can do now to keep your heat working right.
You know, go to room and make sure all your vents are open. There's no furniture sitting over your vents. Keep the doors in each room open so that we can circulate some airflow. Changing the filters is a big key too.
It almost seems too simple, but really, when you do your supply run, buy new air filters. Those dirty air filters make your heating unit work a lot harder. You don't have to buy the most expensive air filters, but think of this.
If you buy a filter from the store and you can put sugar or salt on it and shake it over the sink, if it falls through it, then imagine what it's going to do to any type of dust or debris. It's just going to pull right through it. So, you know, we try to use analogies like that in front of our customers.
Next, check your doors and windows. Don't let the warm air that you're paying for inside leak outside.
2 things you can do at the hardware store: weather stripping and caulking. So thinking about your windows, your doors, if you feel any cold air coming in, you know that you need to get some caulking and some weather stripping in order to prevent that warm air from going outside and that cold air from coming in.
Adding an extra blanket and lowering the thermostat 10 to 15 degrees overnight, it can cut your heating costs up to 10%. But if you can't stomach that much of a change,
Turning your thermostat to the lowest comfortable setting. Every degree is going to help bring that money back into your pocket. The second thing you can do, I have blinds right here. If you have curtains at home, closing them at night in order to keep that warm air in, and opening them during the day when it's sunny to let that warmth come on in.
Well, let's say you can't get the weather stripping or the caulk. The easy alternative, roll up a towel. Keep that cold draft from coming in the door jamb.
Right now at PTI, there are major delays and cancellations. Charlotte Douglas International Airport that you're seeing on your screen there, having problems too. In fact, FlightAware says over 11,000 flights have been canceled nationwide today. More than 15,000 flights are delayed. Close to the U.S., 83% of flights have been canceled and 7% have been delayed at Charlotte Douglas International Airport. We're looking at other states experiencing the worst of the winter storm. This is Austin, Texas. They are not used to it down there, and these dangerous, almost whiteout conditions make for a really hard ride. PowerOutage.org says Texas has over 135,000 power outages right now. I just talked to my mom in Amarillo. They still got it, but some of their neighbors do not. And here's Oklahoma City. You can see aerials of the city on your screen. Snow has been burying city roads and neighborhoods. Crews out there are trying to get the snow off the road, but it is proving to be a tough process. That snowplow even having a hard time getting by on that icy road. More than 200 million people are under winter storm warnings across the country from this system. That includes over 35 different states and traveling more than 2,000 miles since it formed earlier this week. More than a dozen states, including ours, are under a state of emergency as its impacts from the storm are just beginning. Here is some of what you are seeing from this WFMY News 2 Weather Impact Alert Day. If you take a look, this is one of the most interesting posts I've seen. It's comparing the snowplows in South Carolina to North Carolina. This guy actually drove across the border in a 1-minute video. Take a look at the roads in South Carolina. He says they're plowed pretty well, but when you get up to North Carolina, immediately over the border, you see they're still pretty icy over here. If you want to take a look at how the snowplows are doing, this is the City of Greensboro's interactive snow and ice removal map. I highly suggest checking it out on their website. You can see what roads have been plowed. So far, nothing is blue. No city roads have been plowed at this point, according to the map. But they also show you what is going to be plowed first and where your neighborhood street falls into it. Reminder, they're going to start with the major roads and work their way down. Another website that might be really helpful to you is drivenc.gov. Here they list every road that's having a problem right now. You see all of these icons over here. That's everything that's got an issue at this particular moment. Now, not all of it is a serious crash, but they are things that you need to be careful about for sure. Take a look at this. This is a highway in Winston-Salem from Gwen. You can see totally iced over there. Also, a lot of people driving around. This is another problem you're going to deal with, trying to get all that ice off your windshield. It is just really, really tough to do. And emergency management says if for some reason you do get stuck, what you want to do is turn your hazards on, pull over to the side if you can. Make sure you run that heat for 10 minutes each hour to save gas and stay warm. And this was really interesting. Make sure the exhaust pipe is cleared off so that carbon monoxide doesn't come inside your car. Now I want you to check out this video from the Triad Foot and Ankle Center post on Facebook. They've got a tutorial about how to walk in the snow.
I'm trying to walk like a penguin right now, and you may wonder why. With snow and ice coming in this winter, you want to walk like a penguin to help stay upright. Here's a few quick, easy steps in order to help keep you upright this winter. First, hands out of the pockets, and you want them to your side. You want a nice, wide base, feet pointed outwards. Lower your knees, and you want to take short, small steps, keeping your center of gravity over your knees. Make sure you go nice and slow in order to help prevent any falls. If you ever do have a fall on the snow or the ice, however, make sure you contact us here at Triad Foot and Ankle Center for any of your needs. So make sure when you're out in the snow or the ice that you walk like a penguin.
When it comes to winter, we're used to seeing those salt and brine trucks all over the roads. Even the slightest mention of wintry weather, it's part of the normal winter routine. But have you ever wondered how it actually works and why they spread it all over the roads? Let's raise that weather IQ. First, a basic science lesson. When water is in its liquid state, its molecules are loosely packed and move freely. However, when water reaches its freezing point of 32 degrees or below, it turns into ice, forming a rigid structure. This can cause big problems on the roadways with icy and slushy roads, reducing traction between your car's tires and the road's surface. So if we find a way to pull those tightly packed molecules apart, to do that, road crews spread a brine or salt solution. But contrary to popular belief, this actually doesn't melt snow or ice. It actually lowers the freezing point of water. So let's recap. The freezing point of water is 32 degrees, but when you add sodium chloride solution, it actually lowers the freezing point to about 15 degrees, but that only works to a certain point. If temperatures drop below 15 degrees, salt becomes essentially ineffective until temperatures rise above that threshold. With your weather IQ, I'm meteorologist Claire Fry.
Without that salt helping the roads, they are still in bad condition. In fact, in Winston-Salem, Forsyth County, Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough said earlier it was so cold that even the windshield wipers on your car were going to have trouble. Christina Dillon is in Forsyth County. Are you seeing some of those same issues out there?
Yeah, we've been here all day and the roads still haven't been plowed. So I'm going to show you this way. The road is still unplowed. There's some tire tracks. Some people have come through here, but the city had said that it was so cold the salt and brine got washed off. And once this weather hit, this snow, they weren't going to come back out and replow and resalt if the temperature didn't warm up. So that's why you still see those roads unplowed. Take a look right here, the highway over this overpass. Same thing. I mean, you can see it's definitely had more people go on it. There's more tire marks, a bit more exposure there, but that still hasn't been plowed either. So these roads are still slick. We talked to one woman who said she did fall earlier. So even though this looks all pretty and powdery white snow, there is some ice lashed on. And I was just on here a few minutes ago talking to you guys, telling you nothing was falling. I don't know how well you can see it. It is a light drizzle, but we're back to rain. I would assume that this is freezing rain that's falling. So this is what it's been doing all day. It will stop, then it will start in different intervals. Sometimes it's heavy, sometimes it's light, like right now.